Hello, binary traders out there. This is Julian Wong from the Binary Lab, and this is me here doing the weekly analysis and schedule video. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about key events to look out for. Okay, key events that can be found right here on the Forex economic calendar, which you can also check in your local time. All right. So over here, this is my local time. Just to establish you, it's 6 p.m. where I'm at, 6:05 p.m. in Singapore. And I'm 13 hours ahead of the United States in New York. So it's 5 a.m. in New York right now on a Monday. So in this video, I'm going to be starting with the key events first. Over here, what I'm going to look out for. I'm going to talk about stuff that's extra economic as well. Okay, stuff that I know that is happening out there in the markets through news releases, not here, but in the main press, that is inviting a lot of speculation. Okay, some of these things that may affect the markets in more indirect ways. And then I'll be talking about the price action as well. And I'll be talking about a bit about how Trump's inauguration is going to be affecting us. And that's that's just a hint of one of the extra economic things out there as well. We had some interesting stuff happen to the pound USD last week. So we're going to be taking a look at all those stuff right here today on this video. So starting with the key events first, all right? I want to go through Monday. Monday is going to be a fairly normal trading day. I don't see any high impact activities. And for now, just for your knowledge, the market is going quite well. Okay, on a very short time frame, the movements are quite beautiful. Okay, the movements are a lot better, a lot less restricted than they were last week. So in case you're looking out for some of the trading conditions, I think it's rather nice. So let's have a look. Oh dear. Where's my charts gone? There we go. Okay, let's put this within view like that. Okay, as you can see, there's visibly a lot of range. For a whole swing like that. Beautiful range. Like you see from the top of the swing to here, within just about 20 minutes, maybe a bit more than 20 minutes, there is top to bottom about 16 pips in between versus 4 pips in a similar period last week. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in a while, but let's continue with this. Okay, so today I think Monday is going to be fairly decent for trading. So as with the last 2-3 weeks, Mondays have been great. Usually the best days of the trading has been said to be Tuesdays and Thursdays, but for the last 3 weeks, Monday has been very good without any shakeups out there. Okay, Monday night in New York time, okay, which is my Tuesday morning. Monday night at 6:30 p.m. is going to be ECB President Draghi's speech. Expect there to be a lot of volume on that activity. But because this is a speech, this is not a news announcement. There's no facts and figures involved. Okay, so usually when facts and figures are involved, when the actual turns out to be different from the predicted and the consensus, it results in a very short term market reaction and a correction. But this, when it comes to a speech, very often things like policy and plans, action plans, directions are going to be announced, and these will have a more long-term effect about typically the euro. Okay, the euro currency, as you can see, it's going to be part of the euro, and I think pound is going to have some effect of it as well, because in some ways it's not fully Brexited, so to speak. I'm going to talk about that later on. So apart from that, what else is nice? I'm assuming normal trade activity until Wednesday. Okay, between Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I think Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday should go smoothly or fairly smoothly. Late Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, I think volume is going to cut down. Now I'm going to tell you why in a short moment. So Tuesday we have a bunch of activities, and if you guys want to trade the London and the Europe Open, I think by all means do so. There's a lot of stuff going on here that's going to prop up the activities. There's the PMI in France, Germany, UK as well. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. That's going to be good. New home sales in the US okay, this should be a fairly decent thing as well, because people want to know, after Trump has come into presidency, how have that affected the new home sales. Now, uh, when I say this one, like I would say business as usual as well. BOC rate, BOC rate statement. This one I'm thinking that's going to be interesting, because as you know, Canada is a big exporter of oil, and oil indices in turn affects currency exchange and precious metals too. So because of that indirect relationship, this thing here, which is going to affect the cost of oil export, right? So this is going to cause some shakeups, and the Canadian news announcements often affect the markets very drastically in comparison to how other stuff like say US news, Japan news, or European news. The Canadian news are fairly violent, and it does widen the Canadian volatility a fair bit. Okay, now moving on. Thursday is Australia Day, and then Republic Day in India. I don't really see much stuff going on here. Initial jobless claims, that's one thing to look out for. However, over here, right, one of the indicators of, you remember just now I said like Thursday, Friday can be a little bit funny with the markets. So I would be very keen to see how the market's behaving on Thursday morning when the jobless claims, trade balances are being announced. Movements should be big as usual with before, but if the market movements are very tight on the short-term trading, I'm talking about M1, M5, then I would just not trade very much at all during this time, and doing more so on, and not doing any on Friday as well, until I get a better idea of what's happening. The reason for that is because on Friday, if you scroll all the way down, minus the fact that China is out, Korea is out because of Chinese New Year. Thing here is that there is the Trump-May meeting. Okay, this is going to be a fairly big thing for several reasons. Okay, a week ago, the Trump-May meeting has been the catalyst for. Heck, I'm going to use it instead. The Trump-May meeting has been the catalyst for the rebound in the pound. So the pound on the daily chart, as you can see, this being a Tuesday, okay, on Tuesday itself, it had regained 23 days of decline in a single day. Okay, that's very significant. And then on Wednesday, there was a 38.2% Fibonacci correction. Okay, where was I? So I was talking about the pound USD continuing its way back up. It's doing that as we speak right here, right now. Okay, so now on the Friday, on this meeting, what do we have in store? Okay, if one event last week, which I also mentioned in my Facebook Live, could trigger such a huge reaction in the pound USD, then what could possibly happen when it goes into discussions with US? Okay, now what I do know from now is that at the moment, like Theresa May announced a couple of points in her speech about giving the Parliament a vote on the final Brexit deal, aiming for a phased transition, a smooth Brexit. Let's say a full exit, hard Brexit, so to speak. There's a couple of things being discussed, and that not proposing a membership of the EU single market as well. Okay, so this could actually cause the pound to weaken back down from its recent rally. So anything that we've seen so far could come to naught. Okay, so I don't know what's going to be discussed with Trump, but that's certainly something to look out for. And at the same time, why has the USD JPY been dropping lately? Okay, look at how it's been going up for about 2 weeks, all right? Not just 2 weeks, the last couple of weeks, ever since Trump took office, it's been climbing. he's been talking a lot about, spending of the fiscal funds of the United States. However, over the last 2 weeks leading up to his inauguration, there's only been very trivial stuff emerging, namely a lot of people getting pissed off about, there's in the last 2 weeks, there's up to this point no announcements of how he's going to be handling the fiscal funds. But in the meantime, he's been, on the first day he talked about scrapping the TPP. He wants to take out Obamacare. He wants to, basically stir shit in all over the globe, particularly with China as well. Okay, there was a news article that I came across. I can't find it now, but he was talking about how the richest man I saw a news headline about how the richest man in China is not happy and warning Trump that he should not be doing what he's doing. The last thing you want is just to kind of like cause a clash of the titans between U.S. and China. So for these reasons, the U.S. dollar has come down against its recent climbs. So and at the same time, if you look through the reports here, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to do the new search results, and you can have a look at all this. So you can check this out. There's a lot of slamming. There's a lot of drops in viewership. Rolling Obamacare. Further rattles world capitals on day one. This is what's coming up. Okay. So he's making a lot of headlines, but not necessarily the correct kind of headlines in this period of time. But nonetheless, let's look at the price action. Okay, so I mentioned to you how the price action has been quite good so far, much better than last week. And I want to show you something as well, the Aussie JPY. Aussie JPY has been having several days last week where the overall movement the whole day is just about 3 pips. But in the last few days, as you see, this has resumed very healthily. Okay, and I think this is a really, really good sign. Now, you do see the gap over here, so it can possibly come out at some point, probably tomorrow. And then let's have a look at what else. USD. Let's check out the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so it's a lot of movement, but what I see here is that there's significantly less flatlining at the top and bottom of the swing, which has been away last week. So unlike last week, well, there are some, but let's say for those looking to trade reversals, you can find fairly good opportunities where you wouldn't get tricked out over here as much as the past. And I attribute a lot of that to the gain in movement. Okay, there's a lot more range than we had last week, that's for sure. I'm not sure where my rulers went to, but let's just have a look at this. Okay, in terms of the price, it's the price bar over here. So that's 32, 107.43, all the way down to 107.28. So there's a lot of range over here in just a couple of minutes. A lot of range. And another indicator that I like to use when I evaluate the markets for trading is I like to do a parallel set of channels and see, how much room for movement do we have from one end to the other. So I often take a tangent distance, and I can see that from here to over here, we do have, once again, about 4 or 5 pips. Contrasting to about last week, these parallel channels would have only about 1 pip of movement, but today we have about 5 pips. That's significantly better. It's still falling short of what I find as ideal to be 8 pips or more. Like for those of you who watched my Facebook Live last week, I talked about the importance of referring back to our case study webinars, where you can see that on some of these times the movement is really, really huge and significant compared to what it is right now. Like over here, what we're seeing is very limited movement, and comparing it to some of the previous times. But I can tell that this is actually getting better. So what are we seeing in general? That let's say, okay, what what does it mean to have the daily bars looking much longer than last week? What does it mean for that? Okay, last week we had many days where the daily bar was like very short, long wicks on both ends. What does it mean to have like long bodied? Okay, what does it mean? What does it mean to have longer bodied candles versus short ones? Okay, what that means is that when we trade on the shorter term, okay, we can see more direction, okay, more range and direction versus last week. So breakouts can run on for longer. Let's say for those of you doing breakout trading, I can easily spot, there would be movements that once we do support. If you actually do like support resistance breakouts, I would see that over here. Let's do a short one. Okay, look at this. Between here and here, there's a lot more movement. There's a lot more extension. Okay, there's a lot more extension, and this is how the longer daily bars affect us on a lower time frame. There's a lot of extension on any support resistance breakout as compared to the last week. So last week, the extensions could be a lot of 1 to 3.6%, but this week we're looking at a lot of going it to like 161, 261, 4 to 3.6. And for those of you trying to catch long breakouts, I think you definitely can catch very good breakouts over here. Like even for instance, like over here, I want to catch a small support resistance here, and this breakout in itself, this is a huge long way up that you could possibly ride for those of you riding trends. So for those of you who came on this video and you're wondering what are things to look out for, I would say that the market conditions are generally looking better. It's not, I wouldn't say it's fantastic. I wouldn't say it's any better than, let's say, at the beginning of January or end of December, but it's better. It's better in the last 2 weeks. That's what I can say. And the range is opening up. I'm looking at a lot of the major pairs that I trade, and it's looking quite good in terms of movement. Over here, once again, look at this 75596 to 75512. About 10 pips, about 9-10 pips of range occurring within a span of about 10 minutes versus a full hour, or even 34 minutes last week when I did a video on Facebook Live. So I wish you guys a good week in trading. And for those of you who are looking to join us on Binary Net webinars to see how we handle these conditions, just look out for our links inside of the Facebook group and Telegram group. And this video, I hope it helps you out. For those of you who are not yet in the Binary Lab, click the link in the video description. It's theBinaryLab.net/sign-up to find out more about how you can join us on our live webinars that help you become a better trader. Bye for now.